for some magic. Casting a spell. Witchy stuff. Because it is Shocktober. Some consensus it's Rocktober. Okay, so here is a crossover you've been wanting for months. It's Bewitched taking on Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Hocus Pocus and the Witches. Now, you're probably wondering, where's I Dream of Jeannie fit in? Well, that's a story for another day. So, what do all these witch shows have in common? So, let's start with Sabrina take on Hocus Pocus. Both have a talking cat. You have Salem, you have Binks. Both black cats, both talk, both intelligent. You got 3 witches. You got the old one, you got the middle one, and you got the youthful one. Both shows are comedic. There's lots of spells. Sabrina's in high school, and the kids in Hocus Pocus, they're in high school. Sabrina's got a couple bullies, and there's a couple bullies in Hocus Pocus. So, it really is a matter of the talking cat, the fact there's school going on, and there's 3 witches who are family. Now, they're the aunts of Sabrina in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and their sisters in Hocus Pocus. So yeah, they are all ugly and witchy to begin with, and then they get youthful and whatnot. And yes, Sabrina and her aunts, they don't really start off too witchy as far as looks go. They do spells, and they do have a book. Hocus Pocus, they do spells, they have a book. And that's pretty much it. Sabrina was an awesome 90s hit, and Hocus Pocus is a cult classic, which got a sequel. Now, you would think the witches would work best up against Hocus Pocus. Well, the witches does have the Grand High Witch and all the coven. So maybe the craft could work with the witches. Yeah, the craft. That's a good witchy movie. It's got 4. It's got the main witch. She's dark and evil. The Grand High Witch is dark and evil. Things turn good in the end. And of course, Bewitched. It's the one witch with powers. I guess that's why I Dream of Jeannie would make more sense going up against Bewitched. So, yeah, we could say Bewitched. And just go with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Craft, Hocus Pocus, and the Witches. What a Royal Rumble. One contender is out. I did say for another day, so I can definitely do that. Of course, there's many other spooky things coming about. Or already about. So yeah, the witches and the craft, they're useful. They're in high school. Their looks do change due to some spells. Like, they don't really have a book. It's more like a journal, which, yes, technically is a book. They do all their spells. They go to the temple. The main witch, Nancy, she's like poor in a trailer park, and then she ends up getting rich and goes to a high-rise apartment building. There's a new kid on the block. She joins, and then she gets out of it, and then she is revealed to be the most powerful. The other two, they sort of run away because they're like, Sarah doesn't have any powers, and then boom, proves and Nancy goes to a psych ward. Of course, that doesn't happen in the others. So, yeah, the Croft and the Witches would have more in common because they're the more darker tone, and Sabrina and Hocus Pocus have more in common because, yeah, the talking cat mainly. But they're all got to do with a group of witches. So that's why these four are having a battle royal. It's not just the one witch up against the other powerful genie. No. So it's a coven. They're all about a coven. 2 have talking cats. And 3 of them, there's high school that takes place. And the witches has their true ugly form, and Hocus Pocus have their true ugly form. And the witches, they make themselves look youthful and beautiful, just like Hocus Pocus. So there's a connection. You know? And there's 3 here, there's 3 there, there's 4 here, there's a lot here. Like the grandma's a witch too. And, well, the boys turn into mice in the witches. Thackeray is turned into a cat. Chases mice for years. So maybe he chased all the boys that were turned into mice from the Grand High Witch. Yeah, she died, but the witches come back in Hocus Pocus 2. We do have the Witches of Eastwick. We have simple magic. So there's lots of witchy stuff going on. No, I won't talk about The Witch. It's very boring. It does have a great ending. Black Adam is really cool. There's some ugly witches. There's some beautiful witches. They have a group at the end. They go with the devil. Hocus Pocus. They meet who they think is the devil. And Nancy talks about this being Memnol, who's sort of like the devil but isn't really. There's a whole subplot with sharks. You know, this witch afraid of sharks, and then there's a whole deep, a lot of dead sharks at the beach in one scene. So, yeah, there's bugs in the Croft. There are lots of animals. Have to do with all these great witchy shows. Simple magic pretty much takes place around the beach area. Or is it practical magic? And what was the other one I said? All this witch talk, like there'll be more facts here and everything that I may have forgotten, didn't mention, will mention, but here it's there. This has been a big Royal Rumble, big magic Royal Rumble. I guess I have to grant your wishes 3. Next time with another event. I'll scare you later.